chores this morning will be picking up other people's trash left at this campsite. This place was a mess when I got here. There were plastic bottle caps everywhere. There are plastic utensils. There are oatmeal package wrappers. There are old toilet paper rolls. It's just disgusting what people left behind. I've already taken one load to the local rest stop and dumped it off, and now I'm going to clean up some more. People, if you pack it in, pack it out. I don't want to clean up your trash. No one wants to see your trash. Leave no trace. I'll definitely be leaving this place much cleaner than I found it. No one will know I was here, nor the people before me. I also wanted to show you guys that I did take your advice, and I've been leaving my hood propped open when I am at camp, and I also am shining LED lights into the engine compartment at night so that rodents will not find it a cozy place to nest. Now that the morning chores are done, it is time for a little chat. I recently visited home after I left you in Idaho, and I have been asked a lot how I'm feeling about life on the road so far. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a video since it's been 4 months. I can't believe it's 4 months, and just let you all know how things are going so far. First, I'll start out with a few stats. I have visited 7 states, 7 national parks. I have gone on 5 backpacking trips, including 1 solo trip. I have had 1 bad steering pump replaced, 1 roof leak fixed in the camper, and have had 1 broken camera and 1 broken tripod. And as for the question of how I'm feeling about life on the road so far, I absolutely love it. I honestly do love it. I worked very hard before I hit the road to make this camper my home and to do a mini remodel to give it my personal touch. I wanted to give it a cabin vibe, and I feel like I've achieved that. I feel very comfortable in here. In fact, when I visited friends on the road and went and stayed with them at their place, they went ahead and prepared their spare rooms for me, which was really sweet. But a few times I've opted to go ahead and just stay in my camper because I have everything I need in here. I have a very comfortable bed. You know, everything that I need is in this tiny space. As I mentioned, after I left Idaho, I went and visited home. We had 2 new babies born into the family since I've been gone, and I was just missing my family. I just felt like it was time. I know that they wanted me to come home earlier, but I wasn't ready yet. And this time I was ready, and it was very nice to see everybody. The feeling that I came away with, however, was that is not my home anymore. Southern California is not my home anymore. After visiting so many small towns and so many less populated places and spending so much time in nature, just being in a metropolis or a suburb or a big city, it just isn't for me anymore. And I know that, you know, I don't plan on quitting life on the road anytime soon, but when and if I do finally decide to put down roots, it's definitely not going to be where I lived before. And I'm going to probably want to find a nice little place up in the mountains somewhere. Let's get into some of the pros and cons of life on the road. I'll start with the pros. The number 1 pro of being on the road is freedom. I have freedom. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I am free and the day can be spent how I choose. I mean, there are some things that I do need to get done in order to maintain this lifestyle and some work that I need to do, but I can kind of plan my day when I want to do it, how I want to do it, where I want to go next. I could do it in any location I'd like to do it, with any view outside of my camper window that I'd like to see. The only person that I really have to answer to right now is me, and that is awesome. Time in nature, that's another amazing thing. I have seen so many beautiful sights. It just doesn't seem fair that I have seen all the beauty that I've seen, and I know that there's still so much more to see. I've shared a lot of it with you guys. Man, I've just been blown away. I mean, I've been moved to tears on many occasions at the beauty that I have been fortunate enough to see, and I am so thankful and grateful for it. You guys have no idea. I do not take it for granted one bit, and I feel very, very blessed. Another pro is meeting new friends. I have met a lot of new friends along the way. I have to be a little bit careful sometimes about invitations that I receive, being that I am a single woman. So I just really do have to kind of vet out, you know, some of the people that I'm being contacted by, and just be safe about it. But I've met some wonderful new people, and I've had a lot of visits with old friends. I've been able to stop and visit people in other states. I've done backpacking trips with old friends, and that has been incredible. And that kind of rolls into the next pro, which is I've spent a lot less time alone than I thought I would out here. Each and every month I've managed to hook up with friends, new and old, at least a couple of times a month. It really has not been lonely out here whatsoever. I'm used to being alone. I've lived alone for a long time. That's not really a big issue for me, but I was just concerned because I'd be visiting so many places that were unfamiliar to me that I might feel lonely or out of place or what have you. And really that has not been an issue whatsoever, because on my downtime I am busy, but I have spent a lot of time with new and old friends. So that's been really awesome. Another fantastic pro is living a life of adventure. I was an adventure seeker before when I still had a full-time 9-to-5 career, and now I just have more time to explore that. Life has really become an adventure, and what is not to love about that? A few of the cons I'd like to go over, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this topic because I've given these guys way too much press. One of the cons is the critters that have invaded my personal space. Let me tell you, one thing I've learned since being out in nature is the bears are not the king of the forest, the lions aren't the king of the forest, the rodents are the king of the forest. And I'm not just talking about mice, I'm talking about chipmunks, squirrels, and mice. Everywhere that I've gone to camp has been just invaded with chipmunks during the day, especially, and squirrels. They love to jump all over the truck. They're curious creatures. They climb all over the truck. And I do have a touch of PTSD after my mouse invasion, which is another con. So anytime I hear noises, I think that mice have found their way in here again. But a lot of times it's just the chipmunks running all over my truck. Anyhow, that was a surprise to me, just that I would see so many rodents of various kinds at every camp that I've been to. Another con, and I mentioned this after my check-in after a month on the road full-time, is that I'm still spending too much. I'm still kind of blowing the budget. I haven't gotten that under control yet. If you saw my last video from the Sawtooth, you saw that I broke my camera. I did have to purchase a new camera, which I'm shooting on currently. I did go ahead and upgrade since I was needing to purchase a new one. So I'm shooting now on a Sony a6400, and I do have the ability to shoot in 4K, so that's awesome. But it cost me a lot of money, and I did have to break into the savings. Also, I do find that I'm still paying for camping, and I'm also utilizing RV parks more than I should be. I just find that it's convenient because it's a one-stop place. I can take a nice long hot shower. I can do my laundry. I can dump my tanks, fill up with water, dump trash, and also fill up with propane if needed. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, but it is expensive. So I do have to get that in check. And the other thing is life still happens. Life still happens on the road. Things break, repairs need to be done. Things happen with family and friends. Life still happens. It's not like you can just run away from it all and never have to think about it again. But I try to always be optimistic. I try to stay positive. And one of the things that I always like to say is there aren't problems, there are solutions. So there's always solutions. You just got to look for them. And a few things that I'd like to change going forward. I'd like to spend more time in one place. I visited some amazing places. I would have loved to have backpacked a little bit more in Wyoming. I was in the Wind River Range, and there is a lot more to see there, and I really wish that I would have stayed there a bit longer and had an opportunity to backpack a few more of those trails. I did have a commitment in the Sawtooth, so I went to the Sawtooth right after the Wind Rivers, and then I wished I would have spent more time in the Sawtooths. There's so much more to see there. There's just vast wilderness area to explore, and I feel like I just kind of rushed out of there. A very simple thing I'd like to change going forward is reading more books. I just haven't spent a lot of time reading. I'd like to journal more about my travels and adventures. I haven't really done that at all. I do journal, but it hasn't really specifically been on the topic of my travels and adventures. I'd like to do that and just document, the places that I've been, the people that I've met, the stories. I have a lot of stories. I'm accumulating stories now, which is awesome. When I went home, I was telling, friends and family some of the stories, and they all suggested that I start writing this stuff down. Of course, I have all the videos to look back on, but I don't show you everything in the videos. So going forward, yes, I need to journal more specifically on my adventures. And one of the biggies is I want to do more backpacking. I've done 5 backpacking trips so far in 4 months, and I really thought I'd do more. I spent a lot of downtime in between trips, sometimes a couple of weeks at a time, and I really would like to spend more time backpacking. And I think that also kind of rolls into just better planning. I need to plan better so that when I do go to these areas that have multiple trip options, I just stay there and explore multiple trips in those areas. That would save me money as well, because I'm not moving from one place to the next and spending a lot of money on gas and that sort of thing, and just kind of staying put in one area. That's just something that I'm learning. That's just something that you learn as you go, I think. That is something I hope to get better at and change in the future. So that's it, folks. That's kind of my take on the first 4 months on the road. I'm absolutely loving it. I plan on continuing to live this lifestyle. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. In fact, I hope I keep generating steam and momentum and keep moving forward so that I can continue to sustain this lifestyle for however long and as many years as I'd like to come. I want to thank you all for your support. If you have any questions for me regarding this lifestyle, feel free to drop them below, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.